does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today, very excited, checking out Gizmos from Cmon. This is for 2 to 4 players. Age is 14 plus. It'll take about 40 to 50 minutes to play. And in Gizmos, you are going to be building your own gizmos. You're going to be buying cards and then using those cards to hopefully cause chain reactions. So the next time you take an action, all these chain reactions are going to click, 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 click together. So that instead of just taking one action, you might be taking 2 actions or 3 actions or 4 actions and getting a whole bunch of marbles or getting victory points or doing a variety of different things. To me, it feels like a Splendor / Century Spice Road step-up style game, but does it do it well? Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Gizmos. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule book. It is 2 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples, and overall, it's very well done. It should have you up and running in no time at all, so thumbs up on the rule booklet. Next, you're going to get yourself this sheet right here, which is just going to show you how you can build your big contraption over here. And this thing is big. I mean, look how the size of my hand. This is what's going to hold all the marbles, and it's very nice. You only have to assemble it one time, and then it will go back to the box. So they do have a nice box insert in there as well. Last but not least, we have our symbology sheet, which looks incredibly daunting. Don't let this scare you off. I know some people just immediately get turned off by symbology, but the symbology in this game is pretty straightforward. I do want to say that. And honestly, as much as I'd like everyone to have one of these sheets, I don't think this game you could fit all this on a tarot card. Also, they have a chain reaction example down here, which is really stinking useful because it's nice to know exactly how the chain reactions work. The other nice thing about this is that one card's going to come out at a time so that you can kind of talk about what the card is when it comes out, but that doesn't really help you when you do the research action, but we'll talk more about that later. So in Gizmos, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the most points by building a crazy gizmo with all these cards that you see out here. These cards are going to give you various different special abilities that will chain react together. To me, it kind of feels like, oh, that's not supposed to be there. To me, it kind of feels like the end of a really long Dominion turn where it's like, oh, and I can do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do that, and then I can do this, and then I can do that, and then I can do this, and then I can do that. One of those really annoying turns of Dominion, except this game is not as annoying as that is. But let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. Oh, you're trying to get the most points. The game will end when anyone has built 4 level 3 cards up here, or 16 cards grand total, at which point everyone will get the same number of turns. So, first, you're going to have your main area right down here. Everyone's going to start with this card right here. So what does this card do? Well, it's worth 0, or it costs you nothing. It has 0 in the left-hand corner. It's also worth 0 victory points at the end of the game. But whenever you do the file action, it shows you which action you do, you blindly draw a marble. So whenever you decide to do this action, you will blindly get a marble, and you'll put it into your little ring of marbles, which can hold 5 marbles. So you're going to have your ring here. This is your main hub. This is where you're going to be putting all your cards. Next, these are all the cards that you're trying to acquire. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. As you progress up, they're going to be better cards, and they're also going to get you more victory points. Woo! 7 victory points. That's a lot of victory points in this game. Interestingly enough, there's a huge stack of level 16 cards, but you're only going to use, or level 3 cards, but you're only going to use 16 of these cards in the game. So there will be a good deal of variability in which cards you get there. So that kind of cancels out any overpowered strategies where it's like, oh, I just got to get that card, and then I know I can win the game, which I do like. Next, you have these victory point tokens over here. They're victory point tokens, pretty self-explanatory. So let's show you how the game is played. So on your turn, you are going to do one and only one action. The 4 actions you can choose for are file, pick, build, and research. And let's just go ahead and play some mock turns so you can get a feel for how that works. So first, we're going to do the file action. Choose a face-up gizmo from the display area and add it to your archive. Your archive is going to be a spot right over there. So this is a card that you are potentially going to be building later on. So I would like to upgrade my stuff so I can hold more balls. So you know what? I might actually take this. I'm going to put that right there. And since I filed something, I get, boom, 1 marble of any color. And I got blue. That's perfect. That's actually really perfect because, well, you'll see in a second. Next, I'm going to skip over here to the build action. Choose a face-up gizmo from the display area. Oh, this immediately gets replenished. From the display area or from your archive, and spend the energy to add it to your gizmo area. So I'm going to spend 1 blue marble. You know what? Actually, I'm not going. Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to do something else, and you'll see why in a second. So next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take one energy from the 6 available in the energy row, and I'm going to take yellow. And as you can see, another one rolls down. So I'm going to take yellow, I'm going to put it in there, and then so everybody will take their turn, and then it goes back to me. And now I'm going to do the build action. So choose a face-up gizmo from the display area or your archive and spend energy to add it to your active gizmo area. And I'm actually not going to build this one. I'm going to build this one right here, which is going to cost me 1 yellow, which I just did pick up. And this goes in my build area. So now, whenever I build a blue, or whenever I build with a blue marble, I'm going to get a victory point. You might see what I'm trying to do right now. So that it gets back to me, and I'm going to build one more time, because this is my next turn. So I'm going to spend my blue marble to build out of my archive, and put that there. And since I did that, I get 1 victory point. And as you can see, I've kind of got a machine going right here. So now let's take a look out on the board and see if there's anything else that's going to help us in our pursuit of doing things with blue cards. No, nothing really. So you know what I might try and do? I might try and research. So I'm going to draw cards from one of the face-down level decks equal to your research armory, and then you can either build it or file it. So obviously I don't have any marbles right now. So I'm going to draw 3 level 1 cards, and let's see if these help us. And no, I haven't stacked the deck, so I don't know if they're going to help us. This one means whenever you pick a red from this area right here, you get another marble that you don't see, so that's nice, but not really helpful. This one is going to let us turn 1 red marble into anything we want, and this one's going to turn 1 yellow marble into anything we want. But the good news is all 3 of these are blue cards, which is going to get us a point. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a picking special ability. So I put that right there in my archive. These just go on the bottom in whatever order you want. When you say, why does it matter whatever order I want? Because you can start really stacking these up, and you could be drawing like 8, 9 cards, which sounds nuts, but it's actually not a terrible strategy sometimes. So, back to me. I've done file, I've done pick, I've done build, I've done research, I've done all 4 of the actions. But let's show you what a converter is, too. So let's just say next I'm going to, yeah, I'll just take a yellow, just cause. Oh no, I would pick a red. Duh, obviously pick a red. So I'm going to pick a red. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. So I pick a red. If this was active, I would get another marble. But since it's not active, I have not built it yet, I don't get another marble. But then I'm going to build this guy right here. Oh, red. This guy right here. So, and now I place it over here. These are like persistent special abilities that you can use once per turn. And everything in this row that you're going to have, the converter row, is only going to happen once per turn. So now, whenever I have a black marble, I can use it as any color I would like. But that's pretty much what you're going to do. That's it. On your turn, you're going to take one and only one action. And those actions are going to hopefully chain react and get you points and let you do other various different things. So let's take a look at some of the other different cards that you're going to see throughout the game. This one, when you pick a yellow or a red, you're going to get 1 random marble. So if I had both of these and I picked a red, I would get 2 random marbles. So by picking this 1 red, I would essentially get 3 marbles, which would be pretty nice. This one right here, when you build from your archive. So if you file something and then you build it, then you get to pick 2 marbles, which if you pick a red marble could lead to you stringing together that. So you're starting to see how this game can get kind of nuts real quick. Next, we have this one right here. You can turn 1 blue into 2 blues or 1 yellow into 2 yellows. And let's look at some of the level 3 cards because these are the really, really juicy ones. So these ones are going to make things cheaper. Level 2's cheaper. This one, whenever you file something, you're going to get to draw 3 blind marbles. That's huge. That is a lot of marbles. This one, we already talked about that one. This one is the number of marbles you have in your contraption, your holder at the end of the game, is the number of points you're going to get. I tried to go really hard on this one once, and it screwed me over because I didn't have the right machine running, but with the right machine, this one could be huge. Also, this is 7 of any color, so you can use any 7 marbles you have. This one, turn 1 of anything into 1 of anything else. This one's going to make the levels, make the research, make it a little bit cheaper. This one is going to get you points for however many of these you have. So if we would have stuck to that strategy, that'd be an awesome card to get. This one, every time you file, you're going to get a point. And you can see there's all sorts of different ways you're going to be able to win the game, building your own machine, and hopefully winning the game of Gizmos once someone has built 16 of these cards or 4 of the level 3 cards. Make sure everybody has the same number of turns. Tally up your points, which will be in the upper right-hand corner, and these tokens. Whoever has the most is the winner of Gizmos. That in a nutshell is alrighty then, Gizmos from CMON. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, 2 to 4 players, very restricted player count. Also, the game is very mechanical, which will be a turnoff to some people. This game does not have a theme. Yes, you're building a gizmo, and that's the theme, but it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like, ooh, what's this card do? What's this card do? What's this card do? Oh, that card would synergize with this card really good. So if you don't like games that are all feel very mechanical, like this feels like you were just building your engine so it can start going. It's not like, oh, if my farmers are building enough wheat, then I can get the oil so I can run my tractor and then I can do this. Like, it doesn't feel like that kind of engine building game where the theme is at least loosely strapped to the game. This one is just pure mechanical, which will be a turnoff to a lot of people. Continuing on to the con side, I feel like the game could have used just a little bit more. I'm going to tell you in the pros, I think this is a great game, and I'm actually going to keep this game despite the fact it's 2 to 4 players, which is, you know, a very, very hard player count to get to the table because of how many games are at that player count. But I just wanted a little bit more, maybe a 5th action, maybe some more different chain reaction type things, because I feel like there's a great deal of variability in those level 3 cards and what the level 3 cards can do, but there's not nearly as much in the level 2 and the level 1 cards. So I want to see more stuff in there. Another con of this game is that it is repetitive. You're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. It's just build an engine, build an engine, build an engine, build an engine, build an engine. And last but not least, last con I think I have of the game is that sometimes you will know who's going to win the game. And I've had this happen, I think, twice now in about the 6 games that I've played it, where, and one time it was me, so it was great, but someone was clearly going to win the game. Their engine was just churning so hard. They were getting the cards that they needed, and they were just synergizing like mad. It's like, oh, wait, you get 3 victory points every time you do that? And then it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, I kind of have to try, we have to try and stop this person from getting particular cards when they come out. But by doing that, you are cheapening your engine. Because in this game, it's all about that engine building. And if you're trying to buy cards that nothing's counterproductive to what you're doing, but it's not as good as other cards are, I think you get what I'm trying to say here. Sometimes you can get a runaway leader problem with this game, and I don't really see any way to combat that, because there's no attacking in this game, there's no like stealing or anything like that. So there you go. That's what I got on the con side. Moving on to the pro side, I really like Gizmos, and it's definitely a step up style game in my personal opinion, like a small world type of thing. Like, I'm not going to introduce small world to people first if they're getting into games. I don't think it's a gateway game, and I don't think this is a gateway game per se, but I feel like this is a step up towards a Century Spice Road or the one where he's got the looking glass type thing, Splendor, which are both games that I really enjoy and I've kept because I've had great experience teaching those to new people, and I still enjoy them myself. And this just feels like such a logical step up because it's one turn, or one action on your turn, and these are the only 4 actions you could do. So once you explain those 4 actions, it then just comes down to, you gotta understand how the chain reaction works. Oh, if you get that, then this is gonna start triggering this, and that will trigger that. And that's really cool. And people love chain reactions. Most people love building their own engines. Like, I know I personally love building my own engines. And I don't care that there's no theme. I really don't. Same reason I love Dominion. I didn't care that there was a very loosely, attached theme in Dominion, because I really enjoyed building my own deck and trying to get my engine working with those cards and seeing if I could get just the right cards at just the right time to do exactly what I wanted. And Gizmos strips that down to just pure engine building. There's no randomness here except for which cards are coming out or which cards you're going to get when you research, and I do like that. I also like the fact that the game ties your hands, and you might not realize the game is tying your hands until you're like, oh shoot, I can still only hold 5 marbles. I need to get one of those upgrades. But then getting one of those upgrades might not be in your plan, so then you're like, well, now I have to research because there's no upgrades out on the table. I like that aspect. I like the variety of cards in the game, even though, as I said, I wish there were more, especially in row 1 and row 2, because there's a great variety in row 3, but not so much in row 1 and row 2. It looks really good. It's got great aesthetic appeal. I like how they use the Marble Madness mechanism with a little ball roller thing there, and that works well. Box inserts very well done. I don't have any qualms with the components aside from the fact that I wish everyone could get one of these, but it's not that big of a deal. You just kind of talk about what a card is when it comes out, and then when someone does research, maybe you just hand it to them. So it's not a deal breaker, and I really enjoy the game. I think it's a great game. It's going into my collection, and I think it's the kind of game that with an expansion could move even higher on my list of games that I really, really enjoy. So Gizmos. Nice step-up game from Splendor Century Spice Road. Very mechanical game, but one that I can recommend you check out. I have really enjoyed it. Also, big money question, for I know a lot of people watch my channel. Did I play it in my classroom? I did. I played in my classroom twice. I taught a girl. She had her trouble wrapping her brain around it for the first part of the round. But the second game, in the first half of the first game, she absolutely really enjoyed the game. And I think this is a great family game. If you have kids, I'd say ages 10, 11, 12 plus. Yeah, there's no extra stuff there. Yeah. So game night game, check. Family game, 10 plus, check. Enjoyed Gizmos, one I can recommend from CMON. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below or in the comments below. Let me know. When's the last time you fixed your car? Even if you don't know how to fix your car, when's the last time you did something to your car? You were like, yeah, look at me, I did something to my car. For me personally, this is actually going to sound really, really weird, but I had an issue with my battery attachment thing, like the thing that's supposed to like clasp to your battery, you know, like you got the two things that go up. This is how much I know about cars. One of them kept like falling off, and my car would not start, and once or twice my car actually stopped running as I was driving it, like when I hit a bump. And what I started to do is I learned that I could just kind of whack it back down. I just whack the top in there, and I actually would use like apples or hammers or all sorts of different things. But then one day I had this amazing idea. Why don't I look through all of our tools, which is a huge mishmash of tools because I'm not a big handyman, and see if there's a tightener in there. And sure enough, I found a tightener, and I tightened the bolt, the nut that was attached to it, and the problem went away. And I fixed my car and saved the day. And I told my wife, I said, I fixed my car. You don't have to worry about driving it anymore. It's going to start every time now. And she was like, Hercules, Hercules. She wasn't. She was like, oh, what was the problem with it? I was like, oh, I just had to get under the hood, do a couple things. I didn't actually tell her these specifics because it was kind of embarrassing, but I solved the problem. Boom, go me. But when's the last time you fixed something with a car? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.